Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. WWE SmackDown will be airing tonight on the USA Network. This edition of the Blue brand will be the second to go for 3 hours, following the premiere extended edition just last week. However, not much has been promoted for tonight's show. LA Knight will challenge for the United States Championship, plus Tiffany Stratton will appear after winning her first world title. Otherwise, the program will likely deal with the fallout from Raw's Netflix premiere on Monday. One group heavily affected by what went down on Monday is the new Bloodline. The stable led by Solo Sikoa had a rough night, as Sikoa took on Roman Reigns in tribal combat and ultimately lost to the OTC. Now that the new Bloodline lost such a big match, what is next for the stable? This article will take a look at 4 directions for the group on tonight's big show, which could include new members being recruited or even a major alignment shift. Below are 4 directions for the new Bloodline on WWE SmackDown. The new Bloodline currently consists of 3 active members. Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and, of course, Solo Sikoa represent the WWE faction. Tonga Loa and potentially Bronson Reed do or could represent the group, but they're both injured. It is clear that as a trio, the new Bloodline isn't as dominant as they were with 4 or even 5 members. As a result, the stable could decide to recruit new members to the lineup. This includes names both already signed to WWE and those not yet affiliated with the company. Both Hikuleo and Lance Anoa'i could debut tonight as new members of the stable. Alternatively, someone such as Sean Maluta or Zilla Fatu could make their debut in the company as a surprise. Non-family could also work. For example, Shinsuke Nakamura was given a pass from the group before. Could it mean he joins the stable? The Bloodline formed in 2020 and were heels from the very start. This continued over the next 4 years. The OG Bloodline now consists of babyfaces, but the new Bloodline have been heels still ever since Solo Sikoa took over. That could change on WWE Friday Night SmackDown on USA Network tonight. For the first time ever, the new Bloodline could turn babyface in what would be an absolutely shocking moment. They could do so by saving someone, perhaps Jimmy Uso from Drew McIntyre. Alternatively, they could cut a promo looking to repent for their sins and make things right over the coming weeks and months. This gradual turn would be more interesting, but either option could work. Solo Sikoa did something that Paul Heyman said was a major mistake when the enforcer of the Bloodline took over the WWE stable. He brought in rogue talent who, according to Heyman, had no place in civilized society. Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa and Jacob Fatu are the 3 performers in question. Heyman claims that Tama and Tonga were banned from the United States and Jacob Fatu was never welcome anywhere but a prison. These WWE stars are dangerous and ruthless. That potential mistake may prove to backfire on SmackDown tonight. In a stunning move, Jacob Fatu could turn on Solo Sikoa and he and Tama Tonga could take him out. This would remove him from the new Bloodline and allow for Jacob Fatu to take over the group, perhaps even giving it a brand new name. WWE Monday Night Raw's first match on Netflix was Tribal Combat. Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns went one-on-one with both the Ula Fala and the right to be called Tribal Chief on the line. In the end, Roman Reigns stood tall. Solo Sikoa lost the Ula Fala and is no longer Tribal Chief. While many think this means the story between them is over, it could continue tonight, but in a way fans didn't see coming. The new Bloodline could officially be absorbed into the OG Bloodline. Beginning tonight, Roman Reigns could now lead Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman, and if they want to be included, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. This would make for the most destructive and dangerous version of the Bloodline yet. All it would take is for the new Bloodline to acknowledge Roman Reigns as their tribal chief. Roman Reigns has long been established as the cornerstone of WWE, but now, with his evolving character and unprecedented dominance, the next step for the tribal chief is clear: leading a new, powerful heel faction, a reinvention of the Bloodline. This faction will usher in the next generation of WWE superstars, pulling from the talent pool of the company's current roster, as well as newcomers who will bolster the group's image and sheer force. The new Bloodline will be a ruthless, unstoppable force that will shape the future of SmackDown. But the direction the faction takes, and the new stars that will debut with Roman at its head, will define the course of WWE for years to come. Let's break down 4 potential directions for this new chapter in the Bloodline saga. 1. The rise of the new tribal chief, Roman Reigns as the puppet master. Roman Reigns has already been positioned as the tribal chief, but as the heel faction evolves, it's time for him to step into the role of not just the leader of the Bloodline, but the architect behind a larger web of power and control. Reigns' character transformation can be taken even further, becoming less of a physical powerhouse and more of a manipulative figure. In this iteration, Roman would not need to do all the heavy lifting in matches. Instead, he would be the strategic mind pulling the strings behind a dominant faction. In this direction, Roman would recruit young talent who have immense potential but need guidance. Think of a mentor-student relationship where Roman manipulates his group's success through tactical decisions rather than pure muscle. This faction would focus on psychological warfare, mind games, and the absolute control of SmackDown. Potential new Bloodline members. 1. Solo Sikoa, the Samoan powerhouse, who has already shown signs of being a perfect fit for the Bloodline, would play an important role here. Under Roman's tutelage, Solo would become the enforcer of the group, using his brute force to intimidate rivals. While not necessarily a primary talker, Solo would be the muscle that would lay down the law on SmackDown, protecting Roman's interests. 2. Carmelo Hayes, the NXT superstar, would be a great fit for the faction. His brash attitude and incredible talent in the ring would make him a formidable addition to the Bloodline. While he's never been a part of the family, his connection to the modern world of WWE could be invaluable. Carmelo could be the group's flashy, cocky talker who gives the faction a more contemporary edge. 3. Javier Bernal, this NXT talent, has been showing signs of charisma and presence that could make him a great fit for the Bloodline's younger generation. With the guidance of Roman Reigns, he would have the opportunity to showcase his skills and develop into a top-tier heel performer. Bernal would have an interesting role, acting as the more charming and manipulative member of the faction, capable of being a major player in WWE's future. Storyline path. The storyline could see Roman Reigns slowly begin to pull strings behind the scenes. He might orchestrate the downfall of established stars like Drew McIntyre or Sheamus, using deception and strategy rather than just physical force. With Solo Sikoa as his enforcer and Carmelo Hayes as his charismatic frontman, Roman could make SmackDown his playground. His ability to manipulate the storylines, the fans, and even other superstars would establish the new Bloodline as a dominating faction in every sense of the word. 2. The return of the unholy Samoan dynasty, a faction with family at its core. Another exciting direction for Roman Reigns' heel faction is a return to the Bloodline's roots, the family. While Roman has been the leader, it's possible that, with a change in narrative, he could seek to expand the faction to include even more members of the Samoan dynasty. This would not just include the Usos and Solo Sikoa, but potentially even new talents who share the same family heritage. Roman Reigns' leadership of the faction would go deeper than just an alpha mentality. He would tap into the mythos and legacy of the Samoan wrestling family, bringing in a strong sense of pride and tradition, but with a heel twist. This would be a faction that looks at WWE as their kingdom, and no one else is allowed in. It would dominate SmackDown with family pride, but also ruthless ambition. Potential new Bloodline members. 1. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa Ishiodi. These two stars from New Japan Pro Wrestling NJPW are members of the extended Anoa'i I family, which would make them perfect fits for Roman's revamped faction. They could join the Bloodline as Roman's extended family, and their past experience in NJPW would lend a fresh edge to the group. They are proven tag team specialists who can bring in a more international flavor to the faction, taking on any team WWE has to offer. 2. Afa and Sika's next generation, possibly nephews or distant cousins. The Bloodline has always leaned heavily on the Anoa'i family legacy. Bringing in younger, less-known members of the family would allow Roman to further cement his position as the protector and promoter of Samoan wrestling culture. These members would have to be carefully chosen from WWE's developmental system, potentially from NXT. 3. Naomi, a family member with an edge. Naomi, who is already married to Jimmy Uso, has always been considered an honorary member of the family. Under Roman's heel leadership, she could take on a more significant role within the faction. With her athleticism, charisma, and connection to the Samoan bloodline, she could become the faction's dominant female member, adding depth and versatility. Storyline path. The story here would involve Roman Reigns using his heritage and family pride as a weapon to crush everyone in WWE who is not part of the family. He could declare himself not just the tribal chief, but the sole ruler of the Samoan wrestling dynasty, claiming that anyone who dares challenge him is not just challenging him, but the entire legacy of the family. Roman would use his family's influence and connections to undermine any would-be challengers and systematically take out top WWE stars. This would create an incredibly personal feud with anyone outside the faction. 3. The corporate bloodline, Roman Reigns as the CEO of SmackDown. In this scenario, Roman Reigns evolves from just a wrestling character into a corporate mastermind. The WWE Universe has seen authority figures like Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H in power positions, but it's time for Roman to use his influence to turn SmackDown into his personal kingdom. Instead of simply dominating through brute strength, Roman would slowly manipulate WWE's hierarchy, making himself the true power behind SmackDown. Roman could team up with key figures in WWE management, possibly even members of the McMahon family, to cement his grip on power. He would use this newfound influence to recruit and protect members of the faction who are both talented in the ring and politically savvy. The new bloodline would become a corporate entity, ensuring that they get preferential treatment in every match and storyline. Potential new bloodline members. 1. LA Knight. LA Knight, with his charisma and mic skills, would be an excellent candidate to serve as the faction's spokesperson. He could be Roman's corporate mouthpiece, playing the role of a slick, smooth talker who manipulates fans and fellow superstars alike. He's both cocky and capable in the ring, making him a perfect fit for this corporate-driven version of the faction. 2. Austin Theory. Theory is already being positioned as someone who will be a cornerstone of WWE's future. In the corporate bloodline, Theory could be Roman's protege, learning the ins and outs of corporate manipulation while still dominating in the ring. His cocky persona fits well into a corporate setting, and his experience with Vince McMahon would be beneficial in this faction's world of power games. 3. Karrion Kross. Kross could serve as a bodyguard-type figure for the faction, making sure the corporate agenda is enforced through sheer force. His dark, mysterious character would be perfect for this environment, where threats could be made with a simple look. Kross would ensure the new bloodline's plans go smoothly, creating chaos whenever necessary. Storyline path. The corporate bloodline could start by subtly taking control of SmackDown, manipulating management, and gaining power through backstage alliances. Roman would use his influence to secure title shots for his members, and his faction would dominate the landscape of WWE. Feuds with other superstars could quickly escalate into corporate battles, with Roman pulling strings in the background to ensure that the new bloodline remains untouchable. 4. The Destroyers. Roman Reigns as the leader of a violent anti-hero faction. The final direction for the new bloodline could be a more aggressive, violent approach, where Roman Reigns embraces his role as an anti-hero. This version of the faction would look to tear apart WWE's current landscape, taking out anyone in their path and creating pure chaos. The new bloodline, under Roman's guidance, would become a force of destruction, With a focus on power and domination above all else, this version of the Bloodline could target top babyfaces in WWE, including stars like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Edge. Their goal would be to impose their will on WWE, and any resistance would be crushed with overwhelming force. This faction would have a mix of unrelenting violence and methodical destruction, making them a true threat. Potential new Bloodline members. 1. Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, could return under Roman's leadership, aligning himself with the Bloodline in this more chaotic version of the faction. With Lesnar's raw power and history of dominance, he would add an almost unstoppable force to the group. He would be the wrecking ball, demolishing opponents and sending a message to anyone who dares oppose them. 2. Rhea Ripley. The addition of Rhea Ripley would balance out the faction with an incredibly dominant female presence. Ripley has already shown that she can match the physicality of anyone in WWE, and under Roman's leadership, she would become a ruthless anti-hero. Ripley could be positioned as a counterpart to the men in the group, destroying all opposition with the same violent tendencies. 3. Edge as a traitor. If Edge were to align with Roman, it would be a monumental shift. Edge's past as a fan favorite would make this a shocking betrayal, but under Roman's leadership, he would take on a darker persona. Edge could help to elevate the faction's heel status, adding a layer of complexity to the group's mission of destruction. Storyline path. The new Bloodline would initiate a brutal, no-holds-barred war against WWE's top stars. Roman, Brock, and Ripley would systematically take out top babyfaces in violent matches, sending shockwaves through the WWE universe. The faction would break down traditional alliances and create new enemies in the process. Roman's character would be solidified as the top villain in WWE, leading a faction that wreaks havoc across SmackDown and beyond. Conclusion. Roman Reigns has solidified himself as the face of WWE's modern era, but the future of the Bloodline lies in its ability to evolve. Whether as a corporate mastermind, a family-driven legacy, a strategic manipulator, or a violent anti-hero force, the next chapter in the Bloodline story will shape WWE's landscape for years to come. With new blood in the faction, WWE SmackDown will see new stars rise under Roman's leadership, and the direction they take will determine how WWE's storytelling evolves moving forward. The new Bloodline represents not just a faction, but a transformation in how WWE produces its top stories and characters, pushing the company to new heights of intrigue and excitement. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.